Hi friends, it's Michelle Maddox of Sedona Meditation Experiences with another episode of Sedona Meditation Adventures. This is my mostly weekly show where I come out into the beautiful areas in and around Sedona and the desert Southwest and share the beauty of the landscape, a little bit about meditation and mindfulness, and to guide you through some practice. Thank you for joining me. It's nice to be here with you, even through this digital medium. This week, I'd like to talk with you about ancestral healing. This is something that came into my life about 3 years ago, after I had drawn up my family tree and looked at all the names and places and bits of information that I had accumulated. And I just felt intuitively, well, what's next? What do I do with this? I want to bring some healing, some goodness to this. And the concept of ancestral healing really just popped into my mind. And through that inquiry, I was introduced to the work of Dr. Daniel Four, and I dove into it head first. It was exactly what I needed, even though I didn't know it. I didn't know it at the time. And the process is really about reconnecting with your ancestors, with who you are. Even if you don't know much about your ancestors, maybe nothing at all. Some of us don't know anything really about anyone beyond our parents or maybe even our birth parents. It doesn't matter. You can still work with this process to connect with your ancestors on a very deep inner level. Their story is literally written in your bones and blood. They are you, and you are them. And it doesn't mean that you have to buy into any story that your family may be operating under. Even if you have a bad relationship with your family, it's okay. Your ancestors go back hundreds, thousands, maybe even much more than that. Many, many generations back to the earliest days of our human history. So we have literally millions of ancestors that are supporting us. And some of them, even if your immediate family doesn't necessarily reflect who and what you are, some of those ancestors no doubt do. And making the connections to those ancestors is really quite magical. It's a useful healing all on its own to connect to this story that's moving through the lineage and that's playing out in the canvas of your body through your very DNA. You are part of that story. And through the things that we don't always associate with DNA, maybe intergenerational traumas, emotional patterns, stories that seem to repeat. All of this stuff often has ancestral underpinnings. And so doing this healing work not only brings you the connection to your wise and loving ancestors, but it also helps you to start to uncover some of the threads within you. Things that you probably already know about, you feel them because they are part of the fabric of your being. You suddenly are able to put them into a broader context, a bigger story that's been playing out and that is playing out through you. And through this work, you're really repairing the connection to the lineage. You see, a lot of us come from cultures, from ancestral cultures that don't really exist anymore the way that they used to. And some of the practices of those cultures, things like honoring the ancestors, have been lost along the way. And so for many of us, we have many generations where there's been no connection to the ancestors. And so the work that I'm a practitioner in training to do, this ancestral healing work, is to help reestablish those connections and bring healing to all of the recent dead, all the way up to the time when the trouble began, trouble that caused that break in the practice of honoring the ancestors. to start with, and that can go back hundreds, thousands of years in some cases. So it's a fairly complex process that I can't explain in this one short video, but that's a little bit of the process. So let's take a moment here and do a little exercise, a little meditation exercise that kind of starts to reach in to this ancestral work. And I'll guide you through this process. I invite you to be outdoors if that speaks to you and you're able to do that. If not, just make yourself comfortable wherever you are. And go ahead and close your eyes and just start to turn your attention inward. Get yourself settled. You can use your breath to help carry your attention into the core of your body, noticing where there's tension and allowing the exhale to dissolve that tension away. Take a moment to get settled in your body. Feel yourself grounded, connected to our one sacred earth. And now from this grounded place, I invite you to call in a known, trusted energy, an ally, a spirit that you know and trust and have worked with in the past. This could be, if you're a Christian, it could be Jesus. It could be God. It could be some energy of a spirit animal that you know and work with. Or if you don't have any of those things, just call forth love and light. Let that surround you. Let it fill you up. And ask this energy to clear your personal space. To clear it of any negativity, anything that doesn't serve your highest good in this moment. And just let that play out organically. And when you feel that the energy within and around you is clear, ask the supportive energy to place a protective barrier around your personal energy. Just an extra layer of protection, so that your space is filled with love, protective, vibrant energy, and that anything that's less than that be held outside of the boundary. We'll take a few moments to breathe while you feel this grounded, protected, sovereign space within and around you. And now from this sovereign space, invite your vibrant, well ancestors to take a few steps closer, right along the edge of that boundary, so that you can feel their presence. And as that's happening, also ask that any unwell ancestors take a few steps back, so that they're not right up in your space, that they're outside of that protective boundary, and that your immediate space is surrounded by the vibrancy of your well-healed, loving ancestors. Give that a moment to play out. And as it does, notice the dynamics. If it shifts anything within you or the energy space around you. And what do you notice? Without any agenda, we'll take a few moments here to simply sit in the presence of these vibrant, loving ancestors. Just letting them shine their vibrancy to you. And now starting to bring your attention back to your center. Just take a moment and thank these wise, loving ancestors. Just acknowledging and thanking them for showing up in this way for you today. I'm going to ring the tingshes to come on back. How did that go for you? Were you able to feel any shift in your energy or awareness of presence? Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes it takes practice. But we all have this ability to tap into our intuition and communicate with our ancestors. So if this is something that interests you, I invite you to reach out. And if you're coming to Sedona and would like to do meditation or ancestral healing work with me, I invite that too. So thank you for joining me this week, my friends. I'll see you again next week. In the meantime, this is Michelle Maddox saying goodbye for now.